How's it going, Gremlins? Not really sure where I am on the video process. I've got so much stuff going on lately with this car. But I did find two motors, one that's not complete, and then another one that is. I forgot to get some before shots of it. Pretty nasty and grimy. Took the pressure washer out, cleaned the crap out of it. So it looks a little bit prettier. I got some before photos, so I'll post those up to show that. As far as this one was supposed to be, quote unquote, just needs an oil pan and a valve cover. I took the cam off so I could look at the buckets. So I'll make a little video about the buckets here in the future, cleaning them up and whatnot, just to make sure everything's all good to go. As far as I know, the head's good, but unfortunately, needing an oil pan is kind of a BS thing. Let me climb down here. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's piston 1, or 4, I guess in this case, and well, there's no 3, there's no 2, well, there's no 1 either. But if you look up in, try and get the camera, well, there it is. It's right there. No longer attached. Same thing with this one and this one. Kind of hard to see. This one's more attached than the other ones. So there's no caps. There is no bearings. So this engine's got to be tore down and have bare minimum new pistons and rings and bore and honed. So not exactly the plan. The plan was to steal parts off this motor over here that supposedly has knock. I'm not positive on if it does or not, so I'm going to go through, do a leak down test, take the valve cover off, check everything, look at the valve tray and make sure there's nothing that stands out. Probably once again clean the valves on that stuff. So I got some evapor rust over here. I'm gonna try and use that. And I also picked me up a parts washer, which is still in the box. I haven't got to opening that yet, over here. So plan is to take everything apart, get the cams. So yeah, these ones you can tell they're patinaed. I sprayed some stuff on it to try and slow the rusting down. Well, WD-40, some PB Blaster. It does need to be cleaned pretty bad. I did pick up a couple 55-gallon drums. I'll get a couple photos or shots of that. The plan is to kind of make my own hot tank. Get a propane burner like you'd use for cooking a turkey or a fryer or something like that, and put that underneath of it along with some water and some cleaner. That should be here sometime next day or two. So I got all that stuff on order. My local Walmart, Menards, Lowe's, Home Depot, nobody had it. Obviously it's not fryer season yet, so it's kind of hit or miss on whether they got them. So Amazon to the rescue. Other than that, we have lots and lots of parts. So I still have this head over here. Let me move this out of the way. So we got this head here, which once again is intact, just missing a valve cover. And then we have this head over here, which I will need to look into a little bit, but it is the BP4W. It's supposed to be the better head, quote unquote. Unfortunately, it does not have any cams. The cams are down here. Well, one of them is. The other one, bits and pieces of it are somewhere around here. No sensor in the back, no nothing. So nothing back there. So if I decide to go with this one, I'm going to have to source a sensor. More than likely, the plan right now sounds like it's going to be try to get these together. Probably get one of them in the car. Right now I'm currently leaning towards the one that supposedly had knock, making sure it's good to go, and if it does have knock, so be it. It'll be in the car, and I mean I'll find out when it starts for the first time. This one over here, a little more put together. As I say, it's got your intake, your throttle body, alternator, all your goodies. I don't know why the light's not on in here. Give me 1 second. It's hard to see. There we go. So with the garage open, didn't realize I had the light on. Might make it a little bit easier to see. But yeah, alternator, water pump, does need an oil pump, unfortunately, and the oil pan in the pickup. Like I said, throttle body. She works, opens, closes. Intake, full exhaust down. Let's say, which I have one in the car, so aside from the heat shield, I got everything. It's got all the sensors, everything's supposedly good. These ones got the hydraulic buckets, which I'm going to try and clean up, which I believe the BP4W does not. Luckily, I do have a bunch of parts. I say probably a video previous to this one that's going to come out, showcasing all those. So hopefully we can get one of the motors running with minimal effort. I do have multiple transmissions at this point. Yes, I've got one over here on the Cooper center consoles, and I've got two more over here. This one here is missing some stuff, unfortunately. So I got a short shifter kit and stuff, so I'm going to have to take one of these apart that's currently put together and see exactly what's missing. I say both of these have shifters on them. The other one over there did not. So, and I did find the stock shift knob for the short shifter. If I want to go that route, probably throw it on there just to have it. But so lots and lots to do, lots and lots to see. So I know this transmission does have some stuff down in here that I'm assuming goes into there, but I don't know all what's missing without popping one of the other ones open. So a little bit of research there. Haven't made hardly any progress on this, getting the engine bay cleaned up, just because I have been so busy with the other stuff trying to get motors and engines. And we made a run to Illinois Saturday, and then I made a run to the north end of Indiana Friday. I say ran up there first thing in the morning. Guy wanted pretty much next to nothing for a whole bunch of parts, and one of them was including the transmission and both those heads sitting over there. So for what I paid, it paid for itself. And I got a whole bunch of bits and bobs and pieces. So there's gaskets and stuff in here still. Like I said, I got a different video. Eventually, I'm sure it'll be before this one, be my guess. And here's the lifters. I guess they're lifters, but yeah, they're spring loaded. These don't seem too stuck. This one's a little stiff. So some of them are better than others. So I'm gonna clean all those up, take them apart. I said I'll make a video on that just because it's something new. I've never messed with hydraulic lifters, so see how they work and what they do. Other than that, I think that's the bulk of what's going on. I'm gonna say trying to stay on top of the videos. More than likely, next one will be tearing this one down, getting it apart, and seeing exactly what's wrong, what's missing. As far as I know, it ran according to the person I bought it off of, but obviously they started taking it apart too, so I guess we'll find out exactly what I need and what I don't have. And here I moved on to doing the leak down test on the motor that's supposed to be at knock. The compression test come back pretty rough. As you can see, I'm pumping in 40 psi of air into the cylinder and getting about 0 back. So I'm going to rotate the crank over just to see if maybe it's the valves open. As you can see, the needle bounces ever so slightly and then goes right back down to almost 0. And then if I hold it, I get about 10. So not the best. In a perfect world, they should be the same. I know on the Subaru I leak tested it all the way up to 90 psi and it about broke my arm trying to hold it in place to keep it from not pushing the cylinder back down backwards. So it's not coming out very good. Unfortunately, this motor does need some work, and that's a no-go. So we're gonna have to tear this head off and look at it. I am going to scope it just to see. So unfortunately, why is it linked to that? Oh my god. Why am I hearing it twice? It's playing through the microphone. Oh crap. Shoot. Looks like we're going to have to do this one in post. See if I can't turn down the microphone on this thing. Oh, mute. There we go. Hey, it's working now. Okay. Unfortunately, the compression test was null and void. So I did a leak down test to try to see if there's any compression, any whatsoever. And I think the most I got was like 15 out of like 40 to 50 psi. So I'm not getting a whole lot. So I got out my scope, hooked up to the laptop. It's kind of hard to see. Don't know if you can see it or not, but trying to scope down the hole to get a general idea of what we're looking at. And there we go. And it's pretty rough. I mean, lots of carbon buildup, but I don't see nothing major. Here we go. Yeah, so same thing, just lots of carbon. I don't see no like blaring holes in the piston or nothing. So hopefully it's just some bad valves. Try and get you on the side and drop everything. Let's see. Same thing. Don't see a whole lot. Let's say maybe it's just rings. They did say it did have some knock, so maybe they toasted a ring. Unfortunately, if that's the case, I don't know how well it picks up in camera. Lots and lots of carbon. So unfortunately, this motor is also toast and will need to be rebuilt. So looks like we're tearing both of them down, and we're gonna have to go from there. So a lot longer project than I was anticipating. I'm gonna start working on this one initially, being it's the most complete, and it's also the most disassembled. So most of the stuff on that one can be transplanted onto this one in due time. So I'm gonna have to figure that out and go from there. So I'll try to keep you guys updated on what's going on with it. I do have all the wiring harness, hopefully, air quotes, to get this thing going again, or not going, but put together. So plan is to eventually here in the next week get the headlights off. I did order a new bracket for this one. It's blue, but the housing and stuff should all come out and be put back into this. So hopefully, I mean, aside from the mismatched color, I can get the headlight on. So I have to figure out how to fix this broken piece in here, but I'll cross that bridge when I get here. So get everything picked up, cleaned, degreased, because it looks like a lot of it's nasty. I did pick up some degreaser and some gloves and some baggies to sort stuff as I go along in the process. Hopefully we can get this thing going at some point in my life, or yours, depending on how young you are. If you want to continue to see how this project goes, consider like, following, and subscribing. I am on Instagram, where I do post photo updates and maybe some short videos of it as I get things along that are a little easier to do than constantly uploaded just short clips to YouTube. So I will continue to work on this, and if you want to follow along, I will be more than happy for you guys to stick along for the ride.